Will you be wearing a shirt featuring your cats to the parade? Will Poppy and Penny be making an appearance tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't have a choice on that. I think I got two. I think I have to wear both. Yeah, that's a deal I made a couple of years ago with her. She said, you're wearing this shirt, so I don't have a choice.
Perfect. And second question, just you give this team so much credit, the way they come into camp, the way they drive the bench throughout the course of the season, but they're also so good at taking care of each other as human beings off the ice. Can you just talk again about how special this group is and how that combination of work ethic and the way they love each other really drives the overall success?
And that's it. It took me a while to try to figure it out. I think I have. But it started, as I had said, when I took the job, I started calling these guys, and they kept getting off the phone going, these guys are different. Because all they wanted to do was talk about all the other guys on the team. And that has been consistent. We've had some great players be a part of it and then leave, but they still get mentioned in a lot of these because they're still part of it. And the only thing I could come up with partway through is they just love each other. And the manifestation is they will sacrifice for each other. They will do hard things for each other. They would not think of giving less than the guy beside them because they love each other. That's the best explanation for why they're willing to do so many hard things consistently for each other. The idea of not doing it, they couldn't do that to each other.
Paul, from the locker room to the coach's room, just how special is your staff? You guys have been together through all these runs.
Yeah.
We see the hugs at the end of the bench after both cups. It just seems like as great as the locker room is, you guys also have something special ongoing with your group.
That's true. I think the way I view them is there's 8 of us back there. 9, if we put Bill in that. We consider Bill kind of part of the coaching staff because he's in our room every day. They're all exceptional at what they do. And it's maybe a little bit like we talk about in the locker room. There's a great respect for what each one of us is good at. And we don't, while we talk about all things together, whether it's goaltending right through all the special teams, all of that stuff, we all talk about it, but it's one man's job to finish that and to do that. I think we all have a great respect for the way we work.
Paul, Sasha earlier was saying how guys this year have given themselves permission to celebrate more freely compared to last time around. He said things felt a little hectic experiencing it for the first time. I'm wondering, have you noticed that, or what have you seen from the celebrations this time around?
It's different. There's a different feeling to it. Last year was kind of a dream. That's the right word. It was a dream come true. It was euphoric. This year was an achievement. It was hard, and it was hard all year. It was hard at camp, and it never got easy. And there were just so many places that if we had broken at that point or failed, or we would have all understood it. Okay, we did our best, but we just couldn't get it done. But they never let that happen. So I think the freedom to enjoy it, here's what happens. You win the cup, you go into your room, and there's a lot of beer and champagne, and everybody has a great time, and then we don't see the players again. Like, it's gone. But yesterday they invited us kind of a bit of a cruise they went on, and that was nice. But normally you don't celebrate them. The coaches get together. We had dinner as a staff last night for the first time. So it's far more, from our point of view, far more subdued. Now, I don't have a social media thing that I go on, but my wife does. So it's at the elbow room. Oh, here it is. We're tracking the cup. So I think they did. I think they had a great time based on what I saw, and good for them. They've earned it.
You've been in this business a long time. You know the business of the game. We see it every year. Guys are like, "No, I want to remain here." You know that. But this feels different, right? It feels like your guys really want to stay together. What has been cultivated here with that?
Oh, they all do, especially if you take a player that's played other places, and then they can come into that room and truly. Everybody's going to say the exact same thing. Every team that's won the Stanley Cup, you say it's a special group, and it is. You have to be to win, and then to do it twice, and then have 3 trips to the final. There is something unique about this room, And as a player, and certainly as you get older, you will come to appreciate that more. It's all here, and it starts with our ownership and that practice rink that we have and the way we travel and the way the players are treated and anything that they need to get better, it's there for them. So there's an appreciation for that for sure. And we are in Florida. Like, it's pretty darn good, middle of January, and it's 72 and sunny. Like, that's a good thing. Then you get to walk in the room, and I think of maybe Seth Jones might be a prime example. He comes here, and it's not all on him anymore. He can walk into a room of equals and share it with everybody, the burden as well. So it makes him feel protected a little bit. And then they all operate at a pretty high level. So these guys work hard every day. So you can work hard and not look over and see 5 guys that don't have to because they've got more talent than you do. You can all be equals on the effort front too. I think that's a really great environment. Like, that's, if I had had any talent and was able to play, that's where you'd want to play, that kind of environment. So they do have something special here. But it's truly about the players. It's the way the players treat each other. The way the players treat each other inform everyone else around them how to treat each other and also how to treat them. So they have fundamentally changed the way, I think, as a staff, you interact with the players, because there's just not a lot of days where you've got to go in and teach them about hard things. They just do that. So life's pretty good, too, from our front.
Hey, Paul, I've got 2 for you, and one just building off what you were just saying. For all those reasons, but since Vegas, you guys went into that offseason, you had certain needs you wanted to address. Last season, similar situation. Knowing that you have a guy in Bill that you can say, I need X, Y, and Z on my grocery list, and he can, he has gone out and basically gotten you everything you needed. Just the confidence that you can have knowing that if there is any turnover in the offseason, that you'll still know that you're going to have a pretty formidable squad.
Yeah. So how it works is I haven't had to go in there and say, hey, we need these things. He already knows it. So he's already on top of that. As a matter of fact, I really don't get involved in the pro scouting part of this, which is part of Bill's domain. Bill will say, this name came up and it's unanimous in the pro scouting department that we should get him. I just say yes, because they're right all the time. And then it's our job to fit that piece in. The piece is good. Can we fit it in? Their skill set says it's what we need, so that gets covered off. So we have a need that's covered. And then how do you fit the pieces? Well, the pieces fit together because they make themselves fit together. So what's great, I mean, the prime thing about possibly working here is you only have to do this much, your job, because the other people do their jobs and they're really, really good at it.
And the second one is just about Bob. We've talked about his work ethic and just the way he comes to the rink every day, but it's so rare when you see a goalie at his age to have that kind of success, sustainable, consistent at that level. Can you just talk about, you've been around for so long, it's so rare when you see a guy do it that well at that age.
So a lot of times you would say then there's some sort of genetic thing. Right? He's a freak of nature. He's this incredibly fit guy that he just happens to be able to operate at 37 years old. But there's so much more to that with Sergey, in that you see the amount of time that he puts in to be a great pro, and then that's the reason why. He just has worked so hard to get to be great. And he's the perfect fit for our team, because I don't think right now we could have a young goalie do what he does. So we go blocks of time now where there's no action. And that started to happen this year for us. A little bit last year, but it started to happen. And then Connor McDavid's coming at you one-on-one. So that ability to keep your focus, to stay sharp in a rhythm when there's no rhythm to be kept in, is incredibly difficult to do. And I think he built that. I know that he and Rob Tallis talked about that. It's just hard to get into the rhythm of the game. And then there's a whole nother mental piece to that, because if you're only getting, we didn't give up a lot of shots in the regular season this year, and you get into 23 or 24 shots, and there are big blocks of time where you're not seeing anything, but you're still getting 6 high-end chances, because that's the game of hockey. If 2 or 3 go in, you don't like your game. You may have played brilliantly, but you give up 3 goals, your numbers aren't going to look good. So the mental toughness for a guy to be able to handle that, I think he is uniquely positioned to play exceptionally well behind our team.
Hey, Paul, you look at, like we've talked about over the last few years, cup final, cup win, then you look at the state of the roster, the core, how much of your group is locked up, signed as long as you guys have, and yet the balance of guys talking about going, okay, we go to training camp, we have to start from zero again. Just the balance of having the experience that you guys have set for a while, but also the hunger that's still there. What have you learned about this group and the fact that you have that group for you for the long run, just the dual nature of that and what that helps with the trajectory of the team?
Well, I would say you have this incredible opportunity of shared experience. So we don't have to come in and say, we have to learn a bunch of these. There's still there's places that we can get better. We'll strive for that, but we all understand that, agreed. The key is that we agree on the fact that there's a handful of very hard things in our game that are never going to be permanent. You don't get to achieve it. It's not something that we learned 2 years ago that's just there. We actually have to start at zero, because the 5 or 6 really hard things that you have to do to be good in the game of hockey are never satisfied. They have to be dealt with every single night. And what works against you, because they're hard things, is that you get to a point that you don't think you should have to now. You've got 3 conference championships, you've won 2 Stanley Cups. This somehow should be easier. So all we really need to do is every day agree that there's about 5 or 6 hard things that we have to do today, no matter what. Now, it's not every day, clearly, because we don't go on the ice every day, and it's not, but certainly every game. The game is never satisfied. What you did in the last game has nothing to do with an ease coming into the next game. The requirements must be satisfied nightly, and if we just agree on that, then we got a chance.
Well, obviously, the Stanley Cup, greatest trophy in sports. You see what it does when it comes into a room. Everyone goes crazy. You've spent a lot of time with it now recently. Just what does the cup make you feel? Bob was saying when he looks at it, he sees battles and things like that. But when you're holding the cup or just looking at it these days, what are you feeling?
So I haven't touched it that much. So it'd be kind of twice last year, or 3 times. The night we won, the parade, and then the cup day, where you pictures with family. And then I don't want to see it again. I don't want to touch it again. There's a certain amount of reverence for me when I see it. All you have to do is kind of go up to it and start looking and read names. And I don't think I got a very good memory, but I know all of those names, right? That's my childhood is kind of on that, but from a distance, because your name wasn't on that, and then your name goes on it. So now your name's on there with way cooler guys, right? They're all way cooler, like Gordie Howe, that's pretty cool. Like Wayne Gretzky's on that cup, and then there's that Maurice name. Like all your heroes growing up on there, and that. So I'm a little careful with it. I touched it the one once, and then not again. We had this kind of thing yesterday with the players invited us to, so there was once there, but I don't want to get comfortable. I don't want to get comfortable with it.
Watching the last few years, we know some of the things you like to do the first 5 days of practice. I assume that's not going to change. And you mentioned the 5 hard things to do. That I'm just curious, the culture that you wanted to build here. What were some of the other things? Did they just naturally evolve, or did you have to push them to happen?
We were slower than when we came in. I wanted to be very respectful of what had been accomplished here. They had 122 points. I think they led the league in scoring, and there's a lot of good, and I wanted to try to keep that. And it took about 5 months, and it still wasn't grab and hold. And maybe because you can't. Maybe you can't keep both. You can't be this kind of play the defensive style of game that we want and play the open stretch game. So it took us a little while to get there on that. But none of this is, we don't run any different systems necessarily than any other team. The combination of systems that we run, and then, so if you look at the game as systems are all the things that you do without the puck. And then style is all the things you do with the puck. In the combination of, and if we just looked at 6 zones, the 3 zones without the puck and the 3 zones with the puck, your breakouts, your counters, and your offensive zone play. So if you look at those 6 things together, there's probably not another team that plays exactly the combination of the 6. But our neutral zone defense, which is really good, there's a whole bunch of teams that run the exact same with a slight variation. So there's nothing that unusual about the systems or the style. It's the consistency, and that comes from the players. And that Sasha Barkov works hard, and he practices hard, and he plays hard, and he's going to train all summer. So there's the starting point. Go to the other end, you know what Sergey Bobrovsky's work ethic. I get it, he's a goalie, it's a completely different thing, but the consistency in those 2 men is identical. And that's where I think, where we've been able to marginally separate ourselves consistently with other teams. Because we had some aberrations this year with some big goal games, but when you look at the number of tight games that we play, minutes played within 1 goal, like 2 of the last 3 conference finalists with the most time within even or within 1 goal are us in 2 of our last 3 conference finals. So we play tight games. And we're not better than most teams all the time. But cumulatively, we've been slightly better than everybody in the last 2 years at the end of the season. At the final, we were a little bit better. So to have success on that fine a margin, you just have to be incredibly consistent every day with your work ethic or in your game. You're only trying to win by an inch, not by a mile. You have to be really consistent with that then.
Sam Reinhardt becoming big in Game 7 last year and then the 4 in Game 6 this year, with how he's been able to be loose with the celebrations along with the wearing the teammates' jerseys, raising canes. How exciting, how big is this for his profile in the South Florida market? And how exciting is it that he gets to experience the championship parade this year?
Yeah, so I would think any celebration, anything that he would enjoy like that would be strictly for the other players, the laughter amongst them, right? Like Sam's not trying to build a brand here. But he has one in our room, right? He's got a great sense of humor. He's very, very bright man, really well-spoken, understands the game as high, like he understands the game completely differently and at a higher level than I do because he's a player. He's a quiet man. He's not a, but he's a voice when you need it. He will say something on the bench. He has a great sense of when they need him to speak, and he has that timing. So he's got a sense of humor. It's subtle. So if he's involved in the practical jokes, they're probably pretty good, I would think. I never get to hear them, but I bet they're good.
Paul, you were talking about the celebrations and stuff a little bit earlier. Just what have you been doing? Obviously, the players have been out and about. Just what have you been doing to celebrate the last couple of days?
Yeah.
And then just the celebrations from the players that have been on social media. Just what clips have you seen from that your wife has shown you that made you laugh the hardest?
Not as many as maybe I've alluded to. I'll tell you about an experience I had last year in August. We had some friends come up to the cottage, and after dinner, my wife got her iPad out, and she was people had sent her just videos and she's showing them to him. I'm sitting at the end of the table. I got tears rolling my down. I hadn't seen any of it. I missed all of it last year. So we hit the ice, you won the cup, and Addie hijacked me. I think shanghaied is the right word. She shanghaied me. And I was doing media, right? I missed all of it. This year, I figured out if you stand in the middle of the ice, they will grab somebody else. Perfect. So I got to watch everybody skate around with the cup. So I didn't get to see any of that last year. So that was really good. This year for us, we had dinner last night as a staff. I think everybody was out by 9:30. Everybody's just gassed. And so it's been very, very quiet. I'll have a family dinner tonight. We have people coming in for the parade to enjoy that. Probably won't celebrate quite as much on the bus on the way to the speech. Keep it PG rated tomorrow. It's been far more subdued. But same result, just a very peaceful time, really. Yeah, I haven't had a hangover yet, so I'm way ahead of where I was last year at this time.
Paul, you mentioned it a little bit, but have you done anything differently in terms of celebrating, or is there something that you want to do that's different compared to last year?
No, it was, yesterday was great because the guys had a bit of a boat cruise set up and they invited the coaches and the staff. That was great. Now, they were on different boats, but that was a different from last year. Other than that, we have coaches' dinner with our wives, and then we got family coming in kind of to be part of the parade. So it seems quite a bit more mellow from our perspective than last year. It's not as euphoric. It's no less joyful. It is wonderful. No, I've actually had a little better time, been able to kind of connect with like staff. So, well, here's what we did. So what day did we play on? Was that Monday? Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. So Wednesday, nobody came in. Thursday, which would have been 2 days ago, the coaches went in. We did training camp, and it was awesome. And we're excited about camp. So that's how messed up we are. We got training camp done, and we're going to fit it, and that's what we're doing now. So we did exit meetings this morning. We're going to go back in. We're going to finish training camp, and it's pretty cool because we're going to change some things, and we're going to do the parade, and then we won't see anybody. So after that parade, everybody's gone.
All right, thanks.
Okay, guys, have a great.